So over the past year, Donald Trump has been railing against money in politics, and that's really been one of the biggest selling points for a lot of independents. So he has critiqued Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Ted Cruz, and have claimed that they're puppets and that he's donated to them, and all these crooked politicians are just puppets. He donates to their campaign, and then they do favors for him. Well, now, after railing against money in politics for the entire year, Donald Trump will meet with the Koch brothers, too big for money. So USA Today explains that this meeting doesn't necessarily guarantee that the Kochs will open up their wallet to Trump. In fact, Charles Koch actually condemned Trump's racist comments about a Hispanic judge who's overseeing the Trump University case. Now, Charles Koch actually commented about this, and he did not like what Trump had to say about this judge. He said it's either racist or stereotyping. It's unacceptable, and it's taking the country in the wrong direction. So they're not necessarily too keen on Trump, and just because they're having this meeting, it doesn't mean that he will donate to Trump, but Trump is going to have to dance if he wants their money. So USA Today writes, Koch said it would require a major shift in tone and policy for him to back Trump. Koch said he would need to be convinced that Trump supported his top causes in a way that wasn't just hype, ticking off as conditions support for free trade, free speech, eliminating corporate welfare, and trying to find common ground with people. Is that likely to happen? No, Koch said, but we want to be open. So in other words, they're trying to buy off Donald Trump. They want him to support the free trade deals that they benefit from, and that Trump is also taken advantage of, because for those of you who don't know, he doesn't manufacture his ties in the United States. He does it in China. So Donald Trump can probably empathize with them in that regard, so I don't think that'll be a problem. Now, also, when he talks about he wants Trump to support free speech, what does that mean? Because wouldn't Trump be most in favor of free speech because he rails against political correctness? Well, no, that's not the case at all, because he tries to sue people who actually talk shit and make fun of him. So Trump is not in favor of free speech, but that's not what they're talking about. When he's saying free speech, that's code for money in politics. So he doesn't want Trump to rail against money in politics and make fun of these politicians who are puppets to their donors, because that makes the Koch brothers look bad. It shines a spotlight on them, and they don't want that. So they're basically telling Trump, if you don't dance for us and support free speech and the buying off of politicians, well, then we're not going to give you money. Now, Donald Trump supporters will say, you know what, he can't be bought, so it doesn't matter that he's meeting with them. Well, I would disagree with that, because if he can't be bought, why would he meet with them in the first place? And furthermore, there's evidence that Donald Trump can be bought. See, many contend that, Donald Trump isn't like these stupid, corrupt politicians who are just beholden to their donors because he's self-funding his campaign, right? No, that's actually wrong. See, at the beginning of his campaign, he actually begged these billionaires such as Sheldon Adelson and Paul Singer to get behind him and to donate to his campaign. And when they rejected him and said no, because they were backing Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio, well, then he decided to rail against money in politics. So the reason why he's against it is not because he's taking this principled stand against it, because he's really upset about this corrupt campaign finance system we have. He was butthurt. That's all it was. He was butthurt, and that's why he was railing against money in politics. It has nothing to do with him being principled. But things have now changed. So the New York Times reports that Donald Trump held a private meeting with billionaire Sheldon Adelson, and Adelson said that he was willing to contribute more than $100 million to his campaign. So for the Trump supporters that have cognitive dissonance, that right there proves that Donald Trump is very much bought off by Sheldon Adelson. In fact, not only that, Donald Trump spread his ass cheeks open for Sheldon Adelson and allowed him to stick his hand up Trump's ass and actually control him like the puppet that he is, like the puppet that he has criticized throughout the entirety of his campaign. Just like Lyin Ted or Little Markle or Low Energy Jeb, all are bought-off puppets. Now Donald Trump is a bought-off puppet. And I've got an example to prove that. So, do you remember how Donald Trump was going to remain neutral on the Israel-Palestine conflict? Well, for anyone who knows anything about Sheldon Adelson, he is very much supportive of Israel. He doesn't care if they commit war crimes or anything. He is unequivocally in favor of Israel. And if you don't back Israel, then you are not going to get money from him. In fact, Chris Christie had to kiss his ring before because he accidentally slipped up his tongue and said that the Israeli occupation, and he used the word occupation. You can't say that. So he had to go and apologize to Sheldon Adelson, and afterwards he said, you know what? I forgive him. I accept this apology. He kissed my butthole enough to prove that he actually does support Israel unconditionally, even if they commit war crimes. But now, according to the New York Times, quote, Mr. Trump assured Adelson that he was dedicated to protecting Israel's security, an issue about which the couple are passionate. So make no mistake about it. Donald Trump is now the corrupt politician that he has been criticizing for the past year. He's just as corrupt and bought off as everyone else. The question is, are you really surprised? It's Donald Trump. He flip-flops on every single issue ever. So regardless if his supporters will realize it or not, Donald Trump is corrupt, and yes, he can be bought off. Chicken shit Trump is a corrupt politician just like everyone else. And for those of you who say he's not a politician, he's self-funding his campaign, that's not true. That's factually incorrect. But if you're a Donald Trump supporter, I don't think you're going to care much about the facts. So there you have it. Donald Trump, meeting with the Kochs. He's going to dance for them and potentially be their puppet too. I'm not surprised. You shouldn't be either.